And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, roll, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Fighting downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange! 145!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Look at this!
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Hello out there in internet land, and welcome to another NSF live stream. You are looking at Falcon 9 B1080-6, sitting atop SpX-30 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, and it is ready to launch the CRS-30 mission with a cargo dragon to the International Space Station. Just chock full of science and supplies for our astronauts on the ISS. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF, and I'm joined, as always, by our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts, starting off with Sawyer Rosenstein. Sawyer, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. CRS-30? I mean, I just turned 30. CRS is 30. 30 is the number of the day, folks.
It's a 30 kind of day. I don't
Even though
know
we're
what that
actually
means.
not at 30
But it
on the
is.
day.
Wow, Sawyer. Well, thank you for joining us on commentary here. I know we're going to have lots of questions about today's mission. Speaking of, chat, if you have any questions about today's mission, feel free to ask them in chat. Type at NASA Spaceflight, and we'll see your question pop up in some software we have running in the background. Also joining us on commentary, out in the field, is Miss Julia Bergeron. Julia, how are you doing?
Hark, I see a dragon before me. It's been a while since I've been able to say that about Launch Complex 40. I am wonderful. I have completed my first job for the day, and I am now at the fun job, and it is a beautiful, nearly cloudless to the east day here on the Space Coast. So happy to be here, and thank you everybody for joining us.
Yeah, looking forward to some excellent views of today's launch. Looks like a really nice day out there. Also in the background, we have Jay Keegan operating today's stream, so thank you, Jay, for doing that. But yeah, Julia, just to sort of riff on what you just said, it has been quite some time since we have seen a dragon at SpX-30. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been like 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years, the COVID days. Yeah,
Ugh,
it
don't
it
remind
has
me.
been a while, and that was CRS-20. I remember watching that from, I believe it was Titusville, because it was very restricted out here on Cape Canaveral. So, I, I just want to point out how amazing it is to be standing here and seeing so many pads that have access for crewed spaceflight now. And this is just one of them. Seeing that that crew access arm in use yesterday for late loading was pretty darn awesome.
By the way, the date was March 7th, about 6 days before the world shut down.
Wow. Yeah, I forget exactly why. I was in Florida at the time, and I was actually at CRS-20, so this is kind of a fun one for me. This, however, is a little bit different from CRS-20, right, Sawyer? In that it utilizes a new version, well, new to SpX-30 anyways, of Cargo Dragon.
That is true, yes. This is the Dragon version 2, which is quite different from the first one. It's basically the same shell that they use as the crew version of Dragon, but instead of seats and humans, they put in bunch of science, parts, supplies, and rodents. Now, I was actually looking back at this, and I believe Jay has some of the pictures. I just want to share a quick comparison here. So, obviously, we've got Falcon 9 Block 5 with the Cargo Dragon 2. On the left is a photo I took of the first Dragon resupply vehicle to the International Space Station in 2012 on
Wow.
COTS 2 Plus or 2/3, whichever name you give it. So, how's that for a comparison of how it started versus how it's going?
That's quite good, Sawyer. Thank you for that. It really is. I mean, you love to see it, right? This is just a perfect illustration of progress right here, right before our eyes. This weird old configuration of Dragon and of Falcon 9. I mean, there was a time, believe it or not, where I disliked the all-white, or I disliked the Block 5 black interstage look of Falcon 9 once they moved to Block 5. I used to be like a purist, like, oh, the all-white Falcon looked the best. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, I look at this on the left here and I just think, wow, that looks just old.
Also, it
for
was
lack
so
of a better term.
stubby, so tiny,
is.
so yeah, very in its early stages. Even just look at the flame trench is kind of just like, oh yeah, there's some metal bars and some concrete.
Was this back when Falcon 9 was still on the tic-tac-toe arrangement of its
Ye-
engines?
I believe this was still the square.
Yeah, it just seems wrong. And Chris B, the Burgonator in chat saying non-sooty F9 seems wrong. I agree.
With no landing legs, even.
Yeah, it just looks wrong. But in a good way, because like you said, this is how it started versus how it's going. You can just very dramatically here visualize the amount of progress SpaceX has made on the Falcon 9 vehicle and the Cargo Dragon and Crew Dragon spacecraft. So really quickly, this is B1080-6, so it'll be flying for the 6th time, hence all of the soot, as well as a lot of hay gets made about reusing Falcon 9 boosters, but Dragons are also reused, and this is Dragon C209, if I'm not mistaken, and it will be making its 4th flight. So really the only thing getting thrown away here is the old second stage, and I guess the trunk at some point. But yeah, this is a lot of space flight proven hardware sitting on the pad, ready to do its job once again, versus, single use kind of stuff, which, don't get me wrong, I love me a Cygnus. I think they're useful in that you can do fun pyromaniac experiments in them and dispose of garbage and all of that. But yeah, reusable capsules. You love to see it. All right, well, let's just jump right into questions. And the first question that I'm seeing is stubby nozzle or not today?
Yeah, no, I don't expect a stubby nozzle here. You need all the performance that you can get for missions to the International Space Station with that northeasterly trajectory. So they are going to take the extra performance and the extra style points because stubby bad.
Indeed. Stubby bad. I think we can all agree. So today's mission is not going to end at liftoff or even spacecraft SEP. This is a fun one because it's an RTLS, which means the rocket will turn around in space and come back and land right near where it took off from. So definitely don't make the mistake of, once the rocket launches, tuning out, because we will get sonic booms. We will get an RTLS and hopefully some cool shots of the booster landing back at LZ 1 and or 2. Do we know which LZ it's going to, Julia?
I do believe this particular rocket is pre-programmed to go back to LZ1 because LZ1 is open right now. So it's the first option.
Excellent. Speaking of options, again, this is an RTLS, so no drone ships out in service of this mission, obviously, because it's going back to the launch site. But if you were curious about how SpaceX is pulling off this insane cadence that we've seen of late, and what exactly it takes to do that, especially in the marine assets realm of things. I mean, as easy as SpaceX makes it look, it's not trivial to land a booster on a barge in the middle of the ocean. We just had a video out this morning about that exact topic, which we'll link in chat here. But Julia, I think it's safe to say marine assets don't suck, even if they're not quite going to be utilized to the same extent as we see in other missions on today's mission.
I would say it's safe to say they indeed do not suck. I think they are going to be vital for continued growth in the spaceflight industry, and I think everyone should enjoy that video because there's a lot of information packed in there.
Also, Ryan. I mean, who doesn't love Ryan? Cool. Well, that is linked in the chat. Thank you there, Burgonator, for handling that. Let's do some more questions. Shirley Girl is asking, what type of cargo is it carrying? If you don't know, it's okay, smiley face. Sawyer, what is SpaceX sending to the ISS today?
All right. There's a lot of different things here. It depends on where you want to start in terms of what's being brought on board supply-wise. There's going to be about 1,200 pounds or 545 kilograms of crew supplies, more than 2,500 pounds or 1,100 kilograms of science, which we can get into that as well. 200 pounds or 90 kilos of spacewalking equipment, some more vehicle hardware, and then a couple of computer resources, including things to help make them more radiation resistant. And keep in mind there are two parts to the vehicle. There is the pressurized part, which has got 4,872 pounds or 2,210 kilos of stuff inside of it. And then there are the payloads that are inside of the trunk, which, no, it doesn't have a frunk. It's just the regular trunk, not like a Tesla, with about 1,400 pounds or 630 kilos of things in there as well.
It's not a good idea, but if they put some stuff in the nose cone hatch, I guess that could be counted as a frunk, but you probably don't want any kind of potential FOD near your docking adapter.
No, not really. I mean, one of the main things, by the way, for the trunk that they have in there on this one is going to be backup parts, which is always important. In this case, a pump module assembly. So when it is used, those pumps basically help cool the electrical systems on the outside of the station. So once it's there and it's docked, then Canadarm2 will grab it, remove it, and put it into a little storage area on the space station. And if needed, again, with those spacewalking spacesuit parts going up, they can send someone out to grab them and replace it.
You know, how come we don't call a trunk a bunk? If we're gonna call it a frunk, why can't we say bunk? You know, back trunk.
Yeah. And
All right, you're not on board. It's okay. It's all right.
No. But I will say there's a lot of cool science experiments, but I do want to point out one first. I'm sure we'll get more in depth into different experiments as we keep going through the count, because there's some really cool ones, including one that's full of bee puns. But there are living creatures aboard this launch. We have moustronauts.
Yay, more moustronauts.
It is up to 20 rodents will be flying aboard this one, not only in their transporter to get up there, but they're even giving them a new home. They're trying the next generation design of rodent habitats coming up on this mission as well.
So a brand new space house for the mouses. I was trying to do a rhyme. It didn't work. Moving on.
You mean the mouse house? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. The House of Mouse in space.
I was going to say the mouse house in space. I mean, we are the home of the mouse.
Yeah, launching from the land of the mouse with the mice to the mouse house.
Yes.
Chris Bergen in chat is telling me to say dragon boot instead of dragon trunk. So I just want to get that out of the way so I can retain my job. Couple items of support here coming through. Yo, we are completely user supported. We're supported by viewers like you. So definitely want to make sure we thank people who are supporting the stream. Even if you're not doing so monetarily, like hitting the like button, hanging out in chat, whatever it is, watching the videos that we put out, we appreciate it. Doesn't have to be a monetary thing. And that is because we're supported by this entire awesome community, and the people that can support us monetarily do. And so the people that can't don't have to. And we appreciate all of you just the same. Wilbo Tiberius Baggins. Is that like a Star Trek and Lord of the Rings reference merged together? Becoming a Padrat member. Thank you for that. Ayami, 35, becoming a Red Team member. Blushy Boy, gifting a Red Team membership. Suzanne Hatcher, becoming a Padrat. Jerwa! What's up, Jerwa? Always love seeing your name pop up. Gifting 20 Red Team memberships. That is truly exceptional. Thank you for that, Jerwa. And all of your continued support over the years. I mean, literally years. Super appreciate that. And y'all, if you were one of the 20 people that just got gifted a membership, be sure you thank Jerwa. Or if someone else gifted it to you, make sure you thank them too. Wilbo Tiberius Baggins again with 2 curly L's says, I'm back, Padrat. Thank you for that. We hope you enjoy all the sweet member perks. In fact, I'm going to throw some member-only emoji in chat. I'll do a... You know what? I'm going to do some dragons, because why not? Feels appropriate. Coco Cats, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Musical Wolves, thank you for the super chat. They say, do cargo dragons take less time to refurb than a crew dragon? Average time to refurb. This is the part of the broadcast where I say a thing out loud, and then I look at our back channel, and I just pray that Alex starts typing. But I don't see Alex typing.
Well, I can tell you, at least for this particular one,
Thank you, Sawyer.
it averages about 325 days. The fastest that they turned this one around is 201 days.
Excellent.
So the short answer is we don't know exactly, but
Right.
what I've seen from looking at average turnaround times is there really isn't a difference between a cargo dragon and a crew dragon as far as turnaround. Both basically need to be reskinned after flight. So safe to say in the reusability aspect, they're pretty similar for refurbishment.
Neat. Yo, keep the questions coming. We got some good ones piling up here. Here's one from Ross asking, is there any difference? This is kind of in a similar vein. Is there any difference in the number of flights a cargo dragon is cleared for compared to a crew dragon? Are we aware of any difference in between the two? I mean, they're virtually the same with the exception of the Super Dracos, right?
And life support systems.
Okay, yeah, Euclid is kind of important for humans, right?
Yeah, just a little. I don't think there's that much of a difference in the number of flights each one can fly. Again, we've seen Endeavour that's flying, what is it, on 5 or 6 flights now? This one's on its 4th flight, so they're kind of keeping pace. So as of now, I believe they're still well within the ability to keep reusing these for a while.
Neat. That's a good question there, Ross.
Apparently,
like I said,
from Alex,
chat.
update, ding, 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 ding. It says right now both are certified to fly up to 5 times, and SpaceX is certifying them to fly up to 15, but they may have sort of in-between certification milestones, like after 7 flights they check in, after 10 flights they check in, and so on.
Ah, that makes sense. Thank you, Alex. Sideshow Bob, gifting a Red Team membership. Thanks for that. Rox78, becoming a Padrat member. Laurel Sagan, thank you for the super chat. They say, when Stubby first stage F9, need more Stubby? No, absolutely not.
Never.
If you need more Stubby, get your fix in Kerbal Space Program. Apocalypse Cow, thanks for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Always love seeing your name pop up. And speaking of seeing names pop up, what's up, Sheriff Tracy? Also gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you for that, both of you. Joe Howard gifting 5 as well. Thank you for that. And Matt PD, thanks for the support. They say for Jack's Vespid Retro Fund, perfect for this cam. I have no idea what that is. I'm going to have to Google it. But thank you, Matt PD. All right. Here we go. Chris Parr is saying we need to talk about the slide. I think we do. I think we do need to talk about the slide. I think it's about that time in the broadcast where we set aside any scraps of professionalism we may still be clinging to, and we talk about how fun it would be to ride the slide. If you don't know what we're talking about, 39A famously has the old shuttle era slide wire baskets. This might even be Apollo era. I forget. Julia?
I think to be, I don't know that answer for sure, but I'm pretty sure it was shuttle that those baskets ran the entire program for. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was watching the video with y'all and just thinking,
Yeah.
wee.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, in my head, for whatever reason, I have a nugget of information that I have no idea how or why it got there, but the slide wire baskets are shuttle era. So that's what I'm going to go with, and if I'm wrong, you can yell at me in chat. But either way, 39A uses slide wire baskets. 40, we just saw recently SpaceX tweet out that video we were just looking at of the system there. Not baskets, but more like a tube. And they said they took commercial off-the-shelf offerings and modified them for use at Slick 40. So I think oil rigs have similar escape setups a lot of the time, because the oil rig is several hundred feet off the surface of the water. So this is cool. They didn't have to spend, 5 years and go through all of these insane reviews and all of that to design some new system. They were just able to sort of buy a off-the-shelf kind of thing and modify it for Slick 40.
I feel like I've seen something similar at high-rise construction sites, but yeah, that's basically all it is just unfold and shoot you down as fast as you can and kiss your butt goodbye as you get to safety.
So
what you saw at construction sites there, Sawyer, that would be how garbage gets down to the dumpster. But you're right, similar technology.
Right, so how I would get down. Got it. I'm kidding.
So the inevitable question here is, Julia, would you ride the slide?
Oh, absolutely. I would ride the slide at 40. I would go to 41 after that and ride the swing, and then I'd go over and ride the basket at 39. So, yeah, we're good.
Wait,
I do it all.
swing? What swing?
Well, I mean, it's not exactly a swing, but it's kind of like a swing at 41.
Oh,
Don't you remember Tori riding it?
I'm not aware of this. I must have missed it.
Oh, now chat, someone's
Oh.
going to have to find a link for Jack because there's a link of Tori riding it down when 41 got their abort system. So
Of course there is, because Tori is an absolute legend. Okay, Sawyer,
Absolutely.
inevitable question.
You know what else
Would
is a
you-
legend? Before
Would
I
you
answer
ride the
that?
slide? What?
You know what else is a legend before I answer that?
What?
Falcon 9, which at this point, propellant load should be underway as we hit T-minus 35 minutes, below T-minus 35 minutes and counting.
Good job, Sawyer. Excellent segue. You can see the timeline there on the left, and you can even see some venting from the ground systems down in the bottom left of the screen there. So, but yes, Sawyer, would you ride the slide?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Absolutely yes. It looks way too much fun.
Right. For the record, I would also ride the slide. Okay, we
Admittedly,
have
you
talked
don't want to
about the
have to
slide.
do it in that. You hope you never have to, unless it's training. But yeah,
Right, only during training. I mean, obviously, in an emergency, I would also ride the slide, but I would not want to be riding the slide at that point.
yeah.
Sterling Hidani, thank you for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Very generous of you. Thank you for that. And Annette, thanks for grabbing something from the store and the kind words. They say fun times during the day is so enjoyable. Thank you, Jack, Sawyer, and Julia, and all of NSF for covering everything you do. FYI, you should add tips as an option when purchasing from the store, too. Well, that's not a bad idea. I know Adrian's watching, so store team, idea. All right, let's do some more questions. Mario is asking about the access arm. They're saying, is the arm fully operational? Does the quick retract work yet? And do you think they might test its use on the next potential Dragon launch from Slick 40. It looks like the arm has already been sort of tucked away. Do we expect it to do a throwback or anything like that? What's the status of Slick 40's arm? Whoever wants to take this one, just start talking, because I have no idea who I should throw it to.
Well, the status of this arm actually would be unknown. We know it's functional and safe for humans to be on because they did indeed use it for late load. For this mission, it is tucked back because without crew, I mean, it was stowed after late load, so I don't think this is a chance we'll get to see any testing of throwback. I'm hoping that the next time we have a Dragon on the pad is maybe for a private mission. And then, yeah, we'll absolutely get to see it. So sorry, folks, we don't exactly have an answer for that yet.
Yeah, there's no need for a
Interesting.
throwback when there's no people that they would need to, in an emergency, swing it back into place.
Right,
Those poor
so it makes sense.
moustronauts.
Poor moustronauts. So yeah, it is already retracted, not expecting any kind of throwback or anything, because they don't need to leave it attached to the Dragon, because there is no crew on this, as long as you don't count the moustronauts. Sorry, moustronauts. Peeth is asking, what trajectory are we expecting today? I think we have a trajectory map. If
we
Jay
do.
can bring it up there. Julia, we were about to remark on the trajectory.
No, I had no thoughts. Traditionally, CRS and crew, though, they go east to northeast, if I remember correctly, so that we can chase the ISS.
Right, that is what we're looking at here on screen, is a northeasterly trajectory out over the Atlantic. So if you're wondering about seeing this thing, it's a little bit harder during the day, right? But if you are north of the launch site, you have a decent chance.
Yeah, definitely trickier during the day, but that is a northeasterly at a 51.6 degree inclination because that is the same orbital inclination as the station.
And there is the second stage hazard area, if I'm not mistaken. What is that, off the coast of
Australia, New
Australia?
Zealand.
Wow. That's way out there. Cool.
I would make some jokes, but I don't want to hear anything from Harry later, who's our resident down under.
You do not want to enrage Harry. I'm just kidding. He's a big sweetie. Margaret is asking, how do they protect the moustronauts against G-forces at liftoff? Do they have little seats and seat belts? Oh, it's so cute. But for real, Sawyer, what do they do?
Oh, so
They have little pressure suits.
no, that they are kept within a container that does have an actual ECLSS, which is the Environmental Controlled Life Support System. So basically the same type of systems that they would have for humans, they have a miniaturized version of it for the rats themselves or the rodents or whichever crew is going up there.
We know how they're secured in their container. Like, are they in individual cells, or are they sort of just in a box with each other? Like, I don't imagine that you want them all sort of bouncing around and freaking out in the same space. Like, I would think they have their own little rooms or something. I have no idea.
I mean, they have their own little, containers. It's not like it's 20 of them in a single container. But
Got it.
yeah, no, they. I don't know the exact system of what they use to keep them safe, but obviously the G load is low enough that they do just fine, and then they flail around a bit, and then as soon as they get into orbit, they actually adapt pretty well.
It sounds remarkably
know what?
similar to what would happen with me if I ever got to go to space. I'd be fine. I would flail around a bit, and then I would eventually get the hang of it. Sorry, Julia, go ahead.
Oh my God. Oh, the imagery in my head right now. But Jack, it sounds like for our next CRS mission, we might need to do some moustronaut research and see if we can do a little clip to add to the next one, because those are actually some very valid and intriguing questions. And I am trying to picture how these moustronauts actually handle the stress of those G's.
Yeah,
So
I'm very
I
curious.
think
Like, do
that's a
they
great idea. So thank you to our viewers for bringing that up.
I
do they
believe there's a
like
video. I'm
cut
looking for a
some
video
ping
for
pong
it.
balls in half and like make them cute little helmets, like Ralph the Motorcycle Mouse or whatever that child's book was? No? Okay, moving on. Sawyer, what were you going to say?
No, I'm doing some research. I know there's a video of it. I'm working on it.
Oh, excellent. Falcon's Maze in chat says they need to send a cat. Zero-G cat chasing mouse video. What is this, Tom and Jerry in space?
I'd be down
Or
for
I guess
that.
Tom and Jerry's. Let's see. Kyler is asking, will Falcon 9 surpass Soyuz in the amount of launches or mass to orbit before the program is completely replaced by Starship? We get a lot of questions in terms of the life and longevity of the Falcon 9 system, and really my gut is that it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Starship is still very much a prototype. It is rapidly advancing, but it'll be a while before it is fully operational, and even then, it'll be a while before the operational system is fully optimized. I mean, the amount of refinement that has been done to the Falcon 9 is remarkable, and where SpaceX has gotten it in terms of cadence, in terms of refurbishment, in terms of reuse, it is not to be discounted, even as a machine as remarkable as Starship begins to come online. So I don't know the numbers. I don't know what... I know Soyuz has like some insane number of launches since it's been around for so long. But yeah, my gut is that yes, eventually someday Falcon 9 will take the crown, and that it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. And to add to that, really, Falcon 9's a workhorse and redundancy is good.
Right.
Yes.
Ross is asking, how many flights has the Fleet Leader Cargo Dragon completed? Do we have any numbers on that? What's the Dragon Fleet Leader? Also, is that Adam Byrne? What's up, Adam?
I
And
think
he's
that's
gone.
going to be a we wait for Alex to respond question.
Yeah, I think you're right. 4 flights,
4.
he says.
Oh,
Neat.
so this one will tie it. This is the 4th flight.
Bideford with a $50 tip to tips.nasaspaceflight.com. Thank you, Bideford. We appreciate you, and we're glad you're feeling better. I know I'm probably a little bit late there, but there you go. Thank you for the support. We appreciate you. Barbara Schellenberg, thank you for the support. They say, always love when Julia is on air, right? Isn't she just delightful, folks?
We love having
Aw,
Julia.
I love being on air with you.
It's the best. Tom Dalton, thank you for the support. They say, pigs in space.
Yeah.
Reference acknowledged.
Yes. You said it wrong then.
Pigs in space. There you go. Everyone under like 25 in chat right now is just like, what?
Wow.
Let's see.
Hey, you know what, Jack?
What's up?
I just thought of something really cool.
Go on.
I wanted to take a moment to wish everyone happy 3-2-1 day.
Yes.
Yes, that is today is the very first official 3-2-1 day, by the way. Here on the Space Coast, a very special man named Ozzy Osbourne. You may have met him at Spaceview Park in Titusville. He was the person who actually made 321 our area code and made that happen. Ozzy passed away within this last year here, and we have picked this year at 321 today. 321. He was actually honored and commemorated, and 321 day became an actual thing. So everybody out there, happy 321 day in honor of Ozzy.
Oh, Julia, thank you so much for that. Happy 321 day to everybody out there.
Yes.
You know,
I'm glad they made it official, by the way.
It might sound like a small thing to have the area code there be 321, but fact of the matter is, there are plenty of people, I know, it's shocking, who are not as interested in this in space flight or rocketry or what have you, many people out there have no idea of all of the amazing things that are happening in essentially what is a new golden era of spaceflight. And little things to raise awareness or pique curiosity. You know, I imagine there are a good number of people out there in Florida who, when the area code was changed, however long ago it was, because it was quite a while ago, if memory serves, but still, that brought awareness. Like, oh, hey, we have a launch site right here in this place that I live. it's really cool. So I'm glad that Ozzy got the memorialization today. I'm glad we're doing 3-2-1 day. Like, happy 3-2-1 day, everybody. Pink Bunny, thank you for the support. They say, I left the mouse in space in the SpaceX channel. I don't get it. Are they talking about the ice that everyone always thinks is a mouse?
No, unless it was in the Discord.
Oh, I'll take a look at the member Discord.
Yep, that's the video.
Oh, excellent.
It shows them
I'll
at
take
least
a look
while
at
in orbit.
Oh. And it's YK. Thank you for the support. They say, I'll be in the Sea of Cortez for Solar Eclipse Week. Any chance there will be a Falcon 9 Vandenberg launch south? I think there's a fair chance. I don't know the schedule off the top of my head, but
it's
go ahead, Sawyer.
Vandenberg, so we'll see.
Oh, come on. Come on, Sawyer.
What do you mean?
All right, well, we are progressing through the count here, coming up on the famous T-minus 20-minute vent, which we will call out here shortly. But so far, everything seems to be progressing nominally, with propellant continuing to load into the booster. You can see the frost on the right side of the booster there, over the soot now. It's crazy how sooty this booster is after only 6 flights. I'm always a little bit shocked to see the differences that arise between boosters, between flights, between flight profiles.
And Jack, after a while, they almost seem to look exactly the same in terms of the amount of soot. It just builds up so much that it's like, all right, that's a lot of soot. Just like at T-minus 20 minutes and 20 seconds, we get the best vent of all time coming from the vehicle, or the TE, right there on screen, right on time.
Excellent. And Sawyer, what is, for viewers we might have that are new, what is the T-minus 20-minute vent indicative of?
Ooh, indicative. We're getting fancy here.
College word time.
So, that indicates that they have completed loading the RP-1, the rocket propellant 1, which is a refined form of kerosene, into the second stage. They are now going to be purging the line and clearing it out before they start loading up that second stage with liquid oxygen, or as we like to call it here, loxygen. So basically, it's purging the lines of all that extra gas, keeping the lines cool and chilled, especially since we are putting in, well, not we, SpaceX, is putting in all of these super cooled propellants. And then that will last for about 3 more minutes here, and we should get word of that fueling beginning on the second stage with Loxygen in T-minus 16 minutes.
And to be clear, we don't like calling it Loxygen. You like calling it Loxygen.
I've got other people saying it here now at NSF, so...
There are dozens of us.
Exactly. One of us.
Good deal. So, again, the propellant load on Falcon 9 is progressing nominally with just under 19 minutes to go until we hopefully see this Falcon 9 lift off and send a bunch of useful stuff to the ISS.
And that's a good point when we say useful stuff. Because some of the things that don't really get mentioned, I mean, some of the science experiments, I'll mention those really quick first. And then I'll mention some of the things that you don't normally think about that actually get launched on these missions. So
go for it. I needed a drink of water, so thank you, Sawyer.
You're welcome. So one of these is about photosynthesis in space. So basically, they're testing different types of grasses to see which ones capture carbon dioxide better from the atmosphere, which will basically see how these plants change as they continue to be exposed to the stressors of spaceflight, and that could hopefully develop better environments that they create for plants to thrive in the future. And in turn, some of those can even be used on Earth. There are some CubeSats that are being launched to keep an eye on the climate, as well as measuring sea ice thickness. And then probably my favorite is the multi-resource scanner. It is for a company called AstroBee. And I would like to point out that they've had 3 flying robots. They're about 32 centimeters wide. And their names are Honey, Queen, and Bumble. Be from Astro B.
Wow.
I just
I was
love
gonna
that
say,
part.
are you sure it's not Astrobe? But yeah, I clearly with the B puns, they are going for a thing.
That's why I love them. They made the puns. I didn't even have to work for it. um, but they're modules. So what they can do is over time, and what they're doing on this one is adding more sensors and things that will basically create 3D maps of the interior of the space station as it moves around, with the ultimate goal being to hopefully be able to automate things and say when it comes to Lunar Gateway, which is not going to be crewed all of the time, that if something needs to get done, you can train these vehicles to basically memorize everything where they all are, map it out, and then go flick a switch in the future if needed from the ground. Now,
that's nifty.
the other things that we don't think about that are making way up there, it gets kind of noisy on the station. So if you've ever seen the crew quarters, they have these blankets that line the walls that are meant to be acoustic blankets. The crew is getting all brand new ones for all the crew quarters there, because I'm sure those have
Nice.
also gotten gross over time with all of the
Yeah, I was just
sleeping there.
you beat me to it. I was like, no more stinky blankets, fresh new blankets only.
Exactly. We talked about the animals, a new water dispenser, things like that to help get cleaner water, easier to get water, things to generate oxygen, kind of important there. And most importantly, the dose pump, which is part of the toilet pre-treatment package, which mixes water and pre-treat concentrate and flows it through the toilet pre-treat sensor, injects it into where the urine is collected, basically to keep it clean before you use the restroom.
I wonder if the Uno pump is already on board. Because, when you're talking bathrooms, there's
Uno and Dos.
Uno and
Clever.
Uno and Dos. Yeah,
I
do
like
you get
that
it?
one. Pun
You get the
token
joke?
awarded.
Oh, good deal. Holy, I don't even know what to say. Holy moly, Wilbo Tiberius Baggins again says, I'm back, though you don't remember. We remember you. We see your name all the time. 300 Curly L super chat. That is remarkable. I am remarking. Wow. Like, seriously, thank you so much. We, I don't want to pull a Crispy here and spill any beans, but we have some cool stuff in the works specifically for the Cape, and I'm sure that super chat will be extremely helpful in accomplishing our insane, crazy stretch goals that we're trying to accomplish.
Yes.
In addition, it's just appreciated. You're voting with your dollars, and you're voting for our coverage, and we appreciate it because we like what we do, and we like to keep doing what we do. So thank you so much, Wilbo. Holy cow. And
Yep.
it's one of those people that we see do huge supers on a regular basis. And you know what? I don't know how you do it, but thank you.
Agreed.
It's
We don't
just-
forget you, and again, it all goes to use, that is for sure. We are finally making some really nice upgrades and improvements, and it's all because of this support, so it's genuinely appreciated.
Archangel in chat says pounds, dude. No, it's Curly L's. Everyone knows it's Curly L's. Seriously, Wilbo, thank you so much. It's just forever humbling the amount of support we get from our viewers, and there's really nothing we can do or say to adequately express the appreciation other than keep on keeping on and bringing you guys the very best coverage in all things spaceflight that we possibly can. TTV Pro Gamer, thanks for the super chat. They say, do we know when the next Starship launch is? Not really, but we do know when it isn't, and that is before May 4th. SpaceX filed a permit with the FCC for communications with a Starship for IFT-4, and that permit becomes active May 4th. So the current no earlier than date for Starship Flight 4 is May 4th. Wait, it's April 15th? Am I completely wrong? I thought it was May 4th. All right, it's April 15th. I'm a big dumb idiot. April 15th is the net date. Ignore everything I said except for that.
Unless you know something we don't of when they're actually trying to launch.
I could have sworn I did an SBU this week where I said May 4th. I could be completely wrong. It was April 15th, says Alex in the back channel. He's yelling at me. I'm an idiot. So the no earlier than date is April 15th. There you go. Man, I was so confident in May 4th. Where did I get May 4th?
Unless you had Star Wars on the brain, I don't know.
I was just going to say, may the 4th be with you. I mean, maybe that's strong with you.
If anyone knows me, I almost never have Star Wars on the brain. Nigel, thank you for the support. They say, question for Jack. West Best Coast Falcon 9 launch with a stubby nozzle. Good thing or bad thing? Don't make me choose.
No. Oh, I know it's for Jack, but I can't stay silent for that. Very, very bad.
I mean, there was such a long period of time where a launch from Vandenberg was so rare that I would take anything. So I'm as much as it pains me to say, I'm gonna have to say good. Stefan Batiste, thank you for the support. They say I vote for Starship launch site right here in Zuidaplas Polder, South Holland, the Netherlands. I want to see launches from my backyard. Don't we all?
I do.
Gunfox,
It's great.
We know, Sawyer. Thank you for the flex.
I had to flex at some point this stream.
You did. Stefan Batiste, we did that one. Gunfox with a $50 tip to tips.nasaspaceflight.com, which is extra nice. Same as the way that Wilbo did that. Or was that a super chat? Either way, tips.nasaspaceflight.com goes straight to us. No middle person. And we appreciate it however you choose to support us. So thank you, Gunfox. That's an exceptional amount of money. I mean, even $20 is like, holy cow, that's a lot of money. So
also, I am
thank you
pocketing
guys.
that pun token.
All right, yes. They say one pun token for Sawyer and plate of bacon for Jack. Keep up the good work, guys. Oh man, TTV Pro Gamer again. Thank you for the support. No, that's the same one. They're asking when the Starship launch was. I'm a big dumb idiot. Second one from TTV Pro Gamer. Do we know? No, they asked it like 3 times. They must have asked it like 3 times. Okay. Anyways, thank you for the support. Joe Pepel, thank you for the question. They say, how do they launder their clothes on orbit? Do we know, or do they just send their clothes back in a cargo dragon and get new clothes? Because obviously you can't take a shower, at least not in the traditional sense, on the ISS. Is there some sort of space laundromat up there, or what?
Take it, Julia.
No, I was gonna say I feel like I kind of saw something about this, and no, I mean, you don't get as dirty, first of all. So the thing you're worried most about would be your own perspirant and sweat, but as a general rule, it's not dirty up there on the ISS. So unless you're spilling food on you, and food is fun up there, but I think basically you bring up what you need, you recycle it the best you can, and if you're on a longer mission, there's always a resupply or a crew member who can bring something else up to you and swap it out with what's going back down.
Yeah.
So, not really washing clothes?
No,
No.
not really washing clothes. Just like you can't really wash your hair all that well either. I mean, you can kind of cut your hair, but we're talking the Hoover vacuum haircut method for that too. So
Yeah, and then
Suck cut.
the dry rinse shampoo, it's actually really cool to see how they do it. But yeah, they'll typically throw them in something like a Cygnus or a Progress that doesn't return. So keep in mind a chance that the shooting star you're seeing includes an astronaut's dirty underwear. You're welcome for the imagery.
That's hilarious. 7.5 minutes to go. You can see the condensation and frost on the booster. Everything progressing nominally. And hopefully we get to see this launch here in just under 7.5 minutes. I'm excited. Are you excited, Sawyer?
I'm pretty chill, just like the 9 Merlin 1D engines are about to be, as they get ready to pre-chill them at the T-minus 7-minute mark.
Nice. Nice work, Sawyer. Ever the consummate professional.
I try.
Speaking of professionals, Julia, I have a long and involved question that I'm going to ask. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to let you go so you can operate a camera.
all right, thanks so much, Jack. I'll see you on the flip side.
Yep, happy shooting, Godspeed, and we'll see you on the other side. Sawyer, now that Julia's gone, we can talk about how great she is.
And her cookies are absolutely delicious as well. Can't forget that. She bakes
Oh my
and it's
God.
phenomenal.
I haven't been to the Cape in a hot minute, and I have a serious dearth of Julia cookies in my life.
Oh boy. But yeah,
Wow.
so we are
Wilbo
6
Tiberius Baggins again with 100 pounds. Holy cow,
Whoa.
buddy. Thank you. They say you are all so important to almost 1 million of us. That's true. We are coming up on 1 million subscribers. Wilbo, it's just a mind-boggling amount of support there. So I'm at a loss for words. Thank you for all of your continued support now and on so many other streams as well. Really, really appreciate it. And we're just under 6 minutes to go, so I am going to make it short, but seriously, thank you. The kind words that we get from our audience, not even talking about support at this point, just the kind words. Like when people find us in Starbase or find us at the Cape or what have you, and they say, "Oh man, I love NSF. I watch it all the time." That is the fuel that truly keeps us going on the all-nighters, on the long days, on the hot days, on the days where we're getting almost carried away by mosquitoes. The fact that we can bring some joy into people's lives around the world is just so delightful, and we're honored. We're honored to do it. We're happy to do it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. So thank you for allowing us to continue to do it by means of your support. It really means the world.
And interrupt a quick second. At this point now, the Dragon has transitioned to internal power, so Dragon is ready for flight.
Sweet, and so am I. I'm transitioning to Red Bull power. This stream not sponsored by Red Bull.
And we should also be seeing the TE, the Transporter Erector, start to retract, where you'll see those kind of clamp arms release themselves from around the rocket there, right underneath Dragon, and then it will slowly lean back about 1.8 degrees.
The giant robotic crab claw thing is doing its thing and releasing the rocket. I know, very technical terms here, but I'm just trying to keep it simple.
Yeah, T-minus 4 minutes now.
Excellent. What are we going to expect to see next, Sawyer?
So you could see there the TE actually retract. That was a cool angle to see it physically moving.
It was.
So you get there it is. Yeah, the cables on there retracting back. That's been providing not only the fuel and everything, but also power, communications, even some services to Dragon, like, any air conditioning needs or things like that. So at this point
keep
now,
the astronauts cool.
There you go. Yeah. We should be finishing up with fueling very shortly here. And then everything will be loaded with the RP-1, the rocket propellant 1, refined form of kerosene, and the liquid oxygen in both the first and second stages. You'll be able to see that everything will be fully loaded probably in about a minute and a half from now, when that little vent you see there becomes a big vent similar to the one from the T-minus 20-minute mark. And after that, the main thing is the command computer will do the final pre-launch checks as Falcon 9 enters startup at T-minus 1 minute. That's also when they pressurize all of the tanks for flight. And then we should get the go for launch and hopefully liftoff occurring right on time, as this is an instantaneous launch window. So either it goes or it doesn't, as we confirm that Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
Excellent. And a few moments ago, Alex also confirmed that Dragon itself is on the internal count, and we are coming up on T-minus 2 minutes to go. We should see another vent similar to the T-minus 20-minute vent, right, Sawyer?
Exactly, yeah. That one will be once the liquid oxygen has finished loading into the second stage there. And that one, again, you've got liquid oxygen, which can be highly flammable, so the line is completely purged to remove any residual liquid oxygen that may be in there as a way to keep everything clean and not run the risk of the flame going by causing any sparks.
Right. And Stage 2 LOX load is complete, and there is the requisite vent. Excellent. A minute and 30 seconds to go on this beautiful day, launching Falcon 9 B1080-6 and a Cargo Dragon C209 on the CRS-30 mission to the ISS, carrying moustronauts and a whole bunch of other useful cargo for our beloved astronauts up there in orbit. Let's do this. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, here comes the fun part now. As we hit T-minus 1 minute and counting, we should have the tanks pressurizing for flight, and Falcon 9's onboard computers have control of pretty much all of the count, with some small exceptions.
Right, so at this point, if the Falcon 9 sees something wrong with the startup process, it will itself abort, and the vehicle is under its own control.
Falcon 9 is in startup, Dragon is in countdown, and the launch director is go for launch.
That's what we want to hear as we hit under 30 seconds to go. We are go for launch of CRS-30 from Slick 40. Let's do this. T-minus 15 seconds on my mark. Mark! Oh, this is getting real.
Yeah, this is the exciting
T-minus
part.
10. There's the deluge. Ignition. And liftoff of CRS-30 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station on its way to the International Space Station. Let's listen in. I hear camera shutters.
Now there's the rocket sound.
Yes! The VAB squeal!
Oh yes, from 40. Should be hitting max Q momentarily.
There we go.
That's the most pressure pushing down on the vehicle at this moment. Aerodynamically, of course.
Gosh, I love that sound so much. Go, 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 go!
Oh, and then the plume expansion as you get higher up. You can really see the 9 Merlin engines at that point. I love it.
That's one of my favorite parts of any Falcon 9 launch, or rocket launch in general. That plume expansion, just the way that it so visually illustrates that the rocket is ascending into thinner and thinner atmosphere. And really, Falcon 9 is not a small vehicle. And then you look at this massive column of flame extending hundreds of feet out the back of it. It really is a way to sort of wrap your head around the scale of things. Like, this is a massive fire-breathing beast.
Which
Love
is
to see it.
only going to be breathing for the first stage for now, for a tiny bit, as we come up on 3 events in quick succession. MECO, main engine cutoff, which you saw.
There we go.
Then stage separation. And then ignition of the Merlin vacuum engine as the first stage now does its boost back burn to turn itself around to head back to land at Landing Zone 1, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
Excellent shot there from the SpaceX stream and from our own cameras. I just love the way when a Falcon 9 booster does a boost back burn. It's just like, I must go, my people need me, and then it's out of there.
Yeah, and even the plume interaction, it wasn't, it's not as visible during the day, but when you get that boost back burn plume interaction with the second stage firing up, the Falcon Nebula is unbelievable.
Yeah, really, truly, RTLS missions are the best of all rocket launch missions of any kind. You'll love to see RTLSs for that nebula, for the boost back burn, and for the landing and the sonic booms. It's all just, it doesn't get better than that. And speaking of the sonic booms and everything, as this first stage comes back, we will be listening out for those sonic booms basically at the same exact time as it
Look
lands.
at the track on the left.
Wow! You can see the attitude control thrusters on the first stage, helping to maintain the vehicle in the proper orientation. Love to see that.
That's from a ground track. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
that's
if that's
exceptional.
one of our cameras, but look at that.
That is truly exceptional. You can see the second stage on the right-hand side continuing to gain velocity as it accelerates into orbit under the power of that Merlin 1D engine. And you can see the first stage on the right side operating its attitude control thrusters and orienting itself for entry burn, which is coming up here in just a little bit.
Yeah, this part never gets old. And the crazy thing is, when you actually see it from the ground like that, it does appear as if it's going to crash right on top of your head, because it's going extremely fast, and it does quite the final turn to make it to Landing Zone 1. So It really feels like it could just crash on top of your head. People say that, but it's genuine, no matter how many times I see it.
It's the same way with RTLSs out here or out there on the West Coast. I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
RTLSs on the West Coast, if you can manage to finagle a spot on Ocean Avenue, which is like 3 miles away from the pad, it's insane. You can't see the rocket at liftoff, and you can't see the rocket after it's landed, but you are essentially directly underneath it as it comes back in, which is, on the one hand, slightly disconcerting, and on the other hand, like truly amazing to experience. So if you get a chance to see an RTLS on either coast, or hopefully soon in Texas, definitely take the opportunity. Can we take a moment to talk about how visible these attitude control thrusters are on today's views?
Seriously, the ground track.
Yeah. Normally this is the kind of thing that we only see this well at night, and we're just getting some really remarkable views. You love to see it.
And we should be coming up soon on the entry burn. Imagine seeing that from this angle, which hopefully we will. That is, as we like to say, when it fights fire with fire and uses its engines to kind of create a little shroud around itself to act as a heat shield as it makes its way through some of the thicker parts of the atmosphere to help it slow down ahead of landing.
Excellent. And you can see here, oh my goodness, look at that view. That is beautiful.
Oh.
You can see the Cape, like clear as day, and there is entry burn.
And there's the ground view of that as well.
You would think. I have it pointed there.
Excellent.
On its way back to LZ1.
Coming in hot, literally.
Hey, 30 kilometers up.
All right, we are coming up on the landing burn, and shortly after the landing burn will be Seca 1, the first time the second stage engine will shut off. Look at that camera angle. Oh my goodness. You love to see, just whoa, wow.
The close-up of under the
Remarkable.
booster. I love the
Right?
booster butt view, I'll say it.
Yes,
And I lost the monitor.
this is amazing.
It gives you a good idea of the speed, too, and now you can see the grid
What a
fin.
reverse.
Grid fin starting to go
Like-
here.
Yeah, there we go, and there's the landing burn. Let's listen for the sonic boom.
I did not get landing. I'm sorry.
Looking for it on our camera here.
Oh, that's a good idea. And then jump like a total baby. Adam.
I don't see it yet from our camera. We sure heard it. And now we sure see a landed booster.
Excellent. And the VAB squeal. Sorry, VAB. I don't want to get people yelling at me for calling it the VAB.
Thank you for correcting.
That was excellent.
Oh,
Oh,
that-
man. I like that we have a little bit of a hot mic from the field as well, that we could get their reaction to the sonic boom. Even when I know I'm shooting an RTLS, and I know there's going to be a sonic boom, and I know roughly when the sonic boom is going to happen, it can still be quite startling.
Same as
You
we
mean
hit
you
the
jumped
one.
just like I did?
Yeah, we heard you.
I don't know
We
if
could hear
you
you
saw
all.
me. I was trying to reposition the camera to the empty launch pad, and the shaking was literally me jumping. So, yeah.
It happens. It
Yeah.
happens.
It's funny, if you look at my some of my photos, the first one I ever shot, you see it coming down, then all of a sudden a random frame out of nowhere, and then back to the rocket where I jumped. And then the last one, I bumped the focus ring just as I jumped on the sonic boom. So it still startles you after all this time, but what isn't startling is that we have nominal orbital insertion, which is what we expect.
Excellent. Good job, Falcon 9. So the next milestone will be spacecraft deployment off the second stage stack there, and that is coming up shortly. But I just want to take a moment to sort of wrap our heads around the fact that we're going to see a similar profile with Starship here soon. And I can only imagine how the sonic booms from that are going to be that much more amazing.
Oh my
So
god.
we're working on getting some replays of landing for y'all. So stand by for that, and we will show those as soon as we can.
Yeah.
And
We got you
so my
covered.
apologies on tracking from where where we're located. That's really hard to find a booster as it goes behind a tree line. So sorry from the field for not being able to catch that one in frame.
no worries, it happens. And that's what replays are for. Hooray! Because we have many cameras.
And they all record so we can get them and roll the tape back, except it's digital, so there's nothing to roll. But yeah.
Excellent. It's hard to wrap your head around the fact that just, 11 minutes ago, this thing was sitting on the ground going 0 miles an hour, and now it is going 27,000 kilometers. Is that a minute or is that an hour? I think it's an
That's
hour.
per hour.
Yeah, a minute would be a bit fast.
Yeah. Speed of light would want to have a word with you.
I mean, I would take a meeting with the speed of light. I would have a word. I would have a word with it. I might age irrevocably, but I would do it.
I mean, look how perfect that is with the 200 kilometers and the 27,001
Right,
kilometers per hour.
right. It's just
Precision.
very precise, which you'll love to see. All right, we can see a little bit of venting coming from the second stage there near the engine. That's completely nominal. And we're coming up here on Dragon Deploy.
There it goes.
And there it goes. Bye, Dragon.
You look inside the trunk there too at some of the unpressurized cargo in there, including one of those replacement parts that we were talking about for the pump module assembly to help keep the electronics cool outside in space. Although I think they're always
slightly
cool.
important. Wow, Sawyer. Pun
The
token.
laws of physics don't, the laws of thermodynamics don't, but I do.
Oh, man.
So the next thing for it also that we're maybe hopefully kind of see is the nose cone opening. That is extremely important for all of these crew and cargo Dragon missions, in that once that opens up, that has a lot of the communications antennas and relays that they use to talk back and forth with the ground. That also has the docking adapter, and then that also has the sort of LiDAR type system that's used so that the cargo Dragon can autonomously dock with the International Space Station, as opposed to something like Cygnus, which is grappled by Canadarm2 and then berthed to the station.
Right.
So yeah, that one little nose cone is really mission important.
Suffice to say, I would not want to be an engineer in charge of working on that. Methane Man, thank you for the $50 tip. They say more camera money, more better. Thank you so much, Methane Man, for this support and always. Austin Skirvin, really, buddy? They say, when Jack in a kilt and a kayak? JK, JK, or am I? Anyway, thanks for all the content. You are really rocketing it with the coverage. Thanks for everything. Thank you, buddy. I know Sawyer appreciates the puns.
Very much.
Plutonium-239, thanks for the support. They say, what if the re-entry of Starship's demise was due to the wing flaps being broken off, which probably caused it to go out of control? I don't think they were, though, because the camera we were watching it all from was on the flap. So, Steve Marins, thank you for becoming a PadRat member. Hop Hayes, thank you for the super chat. They say, with this Cargo Dragon and Soyuz launch delayed until Saturday, will we have both docking ports being used at the same time? Cheers.
Great question. The answer is no, because they use slightly different docking adapters. So the Russian docking mechanism docks to the Russian side of the International Space Station, uses a slightly different adapter as opposed to basically every other country that docks on the US side of the station, which uses that international docking adapter.
Nice. Delane, thanks for grabbing something from the store. They say, I'm a longtime follower, so I decided to do the lifetime membership. Love the booster landings the most. Eagerly anticipating Starship booster landings. You and all of us as well. It's going to be so dang fun when we get to that point. And hopefully it'll be soon, given how well these first Starship test flights have been going.
And thank you for becoming a lifetime member. You should get some amazing stuff in L2 that we all think you'll really enjoy. So just make sure you put your correct name in there that you have in the forum and enjoy.
Absolutely. L2 is an amazing place. In fact, that's how I got hired by NSF in the first place, was I reached out to the Burgonator on L2 and was like, can I shoot planes for NASA spaceflight? I like NASA planes. and here we are. Wilbo, Tiberius, Baggins, again, thank you so much. They say, Chris B is aware I want to be a part of NSF, hence I'll travel from Cornwall to Yorkshire for an interview. Oh wow, that's not a short drive.
By the way, Skype and Discord and Teams calls also exist.
That's true. Good point.
Save you some gas money there.
Roseanne,
petrol money.
Yeah, petrol. Roseanne DeVasto, thank you so much for the support. They say, isn't the sonic boom the same no matter what's breaking the barrier? Okay. I am not a sonic boomologist, so I could be wrong. But in my head, a bigger vehicle means more sonic boom, or a vehicle coming in faster, lower, means more sonic boom. But I could be completely wrong. Julia, it sounds like you have thoughts.
Well, even when we're just talking a Falcon 9, the level of volume of the sonic boom is very dependent on the atmospheric conditions around you. So if there's more moisture in the air or if it's dry, what direction is the wind going? But one thing that is unique about the sonic boom we hear from a Falcon 9 is it's not just a single boom. It is like
Right, it's like a
boom
triple boom,
because of the
right?
surfaces. Right. So in the case of Starship, how many surfaces? So could you be maybe potentially hearing a 5-beat sonic boom versus our 2 to 3-beat sonic boom here? I think that will ultimately be the question. But sometimes you can be right near a landing zone, and if the wind and the moisture are not in your favor, you'll barely hear it, while somebody 3 miles away down the beach is going to hear it twice as loud. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variables, like which way the wind's going, how much moisture's in the atmosphere, all of that sort of thing makes a difference. But yeah, there. Oh, look, you can see the strongback going back to vertical. Nice.
There you go. By the way, does anyone have a tissue? Because the nose cone is opening currently
Wow.
on Dragon.
Wow, Sawyer. So yeah, I don't know. Super Heavy's going to be coming back. It does not do an entry burn, so it's going to be coming back much faster. And it's a much bigger vehicle, and it's a different shape than Falcon 9. It's got chines. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm expecting great things from Super Heavy sonic booms, but we'll see. One of those things we'll just have to wait and see/hear. Jim Cavett, thank you for the support, and Dan, thank you as well for the support. We're working on those replays of landing. Do we have them ready?
Apparently we're nearly there, but again, the other thing that we're waiting for is confirmation that that nose cone fully deploys, because without that, then the mission has some other issues to work out. So that's the big thing that we're keeping an ear out, an eye out, maybe if they get some video for us. But regardless, if it does work, it will then
keeping a nostril out?
Yeah, there you go.
I think that may be the worst sentence I've ever said on... No, never mind. I can think of worse.
Yeah, you said something with a kilt. That's already worse. Yeah, and then, of course, the next thing will be making its way towards the International Space Station, slowly entering the little keep-out sphere before finally going inside the keep-out sphere and docking to the International Space Station, which should be happening on March 23rd at approximately 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Excellent.
So it's got some time to chill in space. The Moustronauts can now acclimate and figure out what's going on.
I wish we had a Moustronaut cam. I really do. All right, let's take a look at the landing replays. Really is crazy to see how fast it comes in and how rapidly it slows down. I'm never going to get tired of this profile.
It's that quick slowdown that really gets you.
Right?
And put on the brakes.
Yeah, right. Okay, slow down. Basically, I mean, that's how it works. The faster you can land, the more propellant you can save.
Yeah, let's take a look at some launch replays while we're here, too.
Excellent.
More replays, more better.
Man, something about a Falcon 9 with a Dragon on top just looks good.
Yeah, I mean, fairing is cool, but yeah, it just looks so sleek. It's like a flying pencil. Well,
right.
Pen.
It's like a rocket you would draw as a kid. Like kids don't draw fairings, kids draw capsules.
Well, I'm sure there's some
Okay.
people at NSF that were drawing rockets with fairings as a kid.
Okay, that's fair. Ings.
I love also, again, when you get such a clear day like this that you can follow it all the way up. It's
Right.
Those are the best. I mean, yeah, with the clouds, it's artsy. You get better sound sometimes with the reverberation from it, but you're there to see a rocket launch. So to be able to see it that much is always great.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and if you have binoculars or a camera and a steady hand for an RTLS like this, you can keep your eyes on the booster and basically watch it come all the way back, which is just... I know I say things are insane a lot, partially because we see so many insane things in this business, but really, we see so many Falcon 9 launches that it could be easy to think of these things as mundane or easy, and none of this is easy. None of this is mundane. None of this is routine. As many times as SpaceX has launched, as many times as they've successfully landed, it's just the absolute distillation of all of human knowledge and skill and technology and engineering in one single act. You love to see it. It's just delightful.
It really
There's
is.
another liftoff replay there.
Rooftop view.
Yep, that is from our cameras at the KSC press site.
It looks smaller on camera. It still looks pretty big in person, even from that exact vantage point.
Right. Let's see, do we have another one here from a different camera? Oh, that's beautiful. I love the NASA building, the press building right there. What a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, just doesn't get old. And here's another one coming out from behind the trees. And keep in mind, they actually got rid of a lot of those trees at the press site, so this is somehow
Really?
a better view. Yeah,
Nice.
there it goes.
Excellent. What a beautiful day for a rocket launch.
Every day is a good day for a rocket launch, except
It's
ones
true.
with lightning and upper level wind
Or fog.
shear and
Or fog.
wayward boats. And...
Or fog.
Well, I mean, it still technically launches with fog, so.
Yeah, but it's bad because you can't see it.
Aha!
I would like
like
to say,
Vandenberg.
will you stop?
Got him.
Can we stop with the Vandenberg fog hate? Do you know how foggy it's been here for here as in Starbase for the last month? Like, it's not just Vandenberg that has fog. Wasn't there just a Falcon 9 launch in the last month at the Cape that was completely fogged out, and then that same day we had a nice crystal clear Vandenberg launch? Like, come on.
We have had
Why does it get
2 fogged out launches in 2 or 3 years. That's it. How many have you had?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. I think that's the perfect point to end this then, with a successful launch at least, beautifully visible from the East Coast, West Coast.
I'm just, yes. Apocalypse Cow, thank you for the support. They say, I want to see Zero-G Mousternauts. Hopefully we get some video from NASA. Christopher Hella, thank you for the support as well. They say, tell me it's the same camera view guy as last Return to Launch Site without telling me it's the same guy. I don't get it. But either way, thank you for the support. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you so much coming out, hanging out with us as we watch things get yeeted into outer space in the most professional way. But for real, thanks. We couldn't do any of this without y'all's support. And speaking of not being able to do any of this, I wouldn't even know what to talk about if it weren't for our awesome co-hosts. So Sawyer, thank you for being on for commentary today.
My pleasure. I absolutely love these science missions. They don't get the love that they deserve anymore, and that's the whole reason of the ISS is to learn more about everything here on Earth by studying it in space. So what we're sending up now will come back to us multiple fold here on Earth in new research, health experiments, growth of plants and crops and things like that. So I love the science, always happy to be on for these.
Indeed. It's an Astra slogan, but really it applies to all spaceflight, improving life on Earth from space. That's what this is all about. Julia, speaking of improving life on Earth, thank you for being you and being on our stream today.
Well, thank you for having me, Jack, and thank you all for being you, and thank you to our viewers for joining us.
Yay. Also, in the background, Jay pushing the buttons, pulling the levers. Oh, looks like we lost the fiber feeds for a second there, but I wanted to watch the box bounce around. Jay, thank you for operating the stream in the background, and we appreciate you. And, of course, I am Jack Beyer for NSF. You'll see every person's info pop up there on the right side of the screen. You can follow them on the socials, do whatever you want to do. We appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you for doing everything you can and everything that you do to support us, whether it's monetarily or not. Even just watching the videos, hitting the like button, telling your friends about us. It all makes a difference. So thanks. And we'll let you all go hang out at either Space Coast Live or Starbase Live. And we'll see you nerds for the next one.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roll, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. It's orange! 145!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, you know.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?